Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today marks the start of another crazy adventure. We have a whole rally ahead of us, you could say, from here in beautiful Porto Montegro. Just take a look at these views and the lineup of mega yachts here in the ports. But having finished Gumball 3000 from Edinburgh all the way down, 6 different Shmeemobiles over 6 days, the AMG GT Black Series was my car of choice for the last leg because of what we're doing now. Like we had Gumball in the support vehicle up to Edinburgh to the start, we now have the traditional Homeball to get us back home from Gumball 3000, except with a twist, because along the way we've got a lot planned, and today is effectively another Gumball leg. We have a whole full day of driving ahead of us through 3 other countries, or into 3 other countries, which means some border crossings, some very sketchy places to drive through from what I've been told. But we're going to be setting off from here in Montenegro, crossing into Serbia, I've never been there before, then crossing into Bulgaria, I've never been there before either, and then into Romania, where of course we finished the Gumball in 2016, a few years back. But this car has been around the world, all through Europe. It's been out to the Middle East, to Dubai, to Abu Dhabi. It's also been all the way around the USA, in fact to 29 states and DC when we had our mega adventure. So it's the car of choice to continue this global tour, if you will, and today is Homeball. Let's see how this goes. Well, the guys are here now, we've loaded everything up and we're about to depart, but before we do, something has happened while the car's been here in Montenegro, which is frustrating. Have a look at this, on the wheels. My valve caps have been pinched. I didn't know that was a thing people still did. But all 4 have gone from the GT Black Series, so stop 1 is to find some new ones. The Ferrari still has theirs. The G63, as it happens, which is from Sweden, has also had them stolen, because we've had a look at the cars down here. You wouldn't expect, surrounded by mega yachts like this, that your valve caps get nabbed. But hey, we look back at some pictures. They were on it when we were unstickering it yesterday, and they were gone a little bit later in the afternoon, and the car didn't move in the meantime. So 100% they were stolen from right here on the car, or up there on the car, and yeah, weird. Anyway, we're gonna get started now. They're gonna head onwards. They've got a 2-day drive, 24-25 hours to get that back home. We've got 13-hour drive ahead of us today, and then obviously many more hours, because technically we're heading slightly further from home than we are right now. So in the car we go. Let's get this journey underway. They're off, they're going. See you guys. They've got reverse Gumball. Well, they've got their own Homeball that they're kicking off, but for us, it's time to go with this. I genuinely can't believe that this is the first time in my life I've had some valve caps stolen, but we are driving out from the port here. It is time to go. It's time to make a move, and there's a particularly nasty bump actually just at the end in front of us here. But thankfully they have opened the gate. It's gonna scrape for sure. There we go. Oh, that's horrible. Thank you to the people who waited to let us through. Obviously the cars like this here have stood out quite a bit. Porto Montegro is an unbelievable little enclave, just this area. So I'm quite surprised that valve caps would get stolen. I did have like a Mercedes logo on the end of them, but they're not particularly expensive, and theft is theft. That's not what I would expect, especially considering that this car's basically been around the world and it took until here for them to go. We will be able to get some new ones. In fact, I had the car washed yesterday just around the corner at a local car wash, and I'm going to head straight there and see if they've got something for us. This is where all of the Gumball cars were loaded yesterday. That's the last time we'll see that Gumball flag. We've gone, we've driven past. So let's head up this way, get this journey started. It's a beautiful day. But like I said, we are heading today through Serbia firstly. Well, we've got like an hour or 2 in Montenegro, then into Serbia. Border crossing should be fine. We've got the registration docs, the green card insurance, we've obviously got passports and everything else that you need. Then I've been told that there are lots of police that might pull you over or try and pull you over for the wrong reasons, and therefore you should know where the local police stations are. So we've done some research and we're going to be ready for that, and that you should just keep driving until you get to a police station. So hopefully we're not going to get pulled over. And then of course we enter Bulgaria and Romania, where I suppose things might slightly normalize but totally new routes for me. I've been to Bucharest before with Gumball, but I've certainly never been into either of Serbia or Bulgaria. So that's a brand new experience ahead. This has already gone wrong. It's a Sunday, that's a tyre shop, but they're closed. Oh dear, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that at all. What does that mean we do? What do we do? Because I don't really want to drive a few thousand miles in dusty countries without valve caps. That's not ideal because TPMS sensors are not cheap. This has just become a really big problem out of nothing. Such a petty little thing. But now it's like, how do we fix this? Time to get my Google on. I'm pulling into a petrol station in the hope that this is going to have something. I have no idea. I've never actually had to buy valve caps on the road, so learning as we go here. But let's park the car just here and pop inside and go and have a quick look. Well, unfortunately, absolutely no luck here. Bit of a language barrier anyway, but oh, don't knock my door off. Yeah, let's maybe at a motorway. I don't know if we're going to be going along any motorway anywhere. This could very quickly become a little bit of a problem. Today, probably not, but give it a few more days of driving. And yeah, I don't really know. I'm going to get hit by a truck here. Just going to have to go with the flow a bit on this one and see what we can find along the way. What am I doing with my hands? I have no idea. This direction, and then it says 11.5 hours, 761 kilometers. That is a proper Gumball stint and a half. That's a lot of border crossings, a lot of sitting in traffic jams. Fingers crossed it's all going to go fine without having to give any extra money for random fines and things that we don't quite understand. I guess the last time we see the Gumball livery for now. F8 sitting in a bit of a traffic jam here as we're trying to figure out from the Gumball group how we solve this and whether anybody has a solution. But this place is currently in basic gridlock with some roadworks going on. Hey, a Jimny in kinetic yellow like mine used to be. Probably a good car for around here, to be honest. Small streets, rough roads, not bad. This petrol station looks a little bit more substantial, so I don't even know where we're gonna park, but I'm gonna park here and just pop in. I have no idea if you can buy these things at petrol stations, but let's see. There's an air machine, so if there's an air machine, there might be some valve caps. Back in a sec. I think this is wishful, very wishful. He thought I should try the next gas station back in the direction we've come from. So that would be the one we just went to. Yeah, don't really know. We're about to go through 35,000 kilometers today as it happens, which is a big number for a car like this. And if you're wondering, just turn off the music, why we've got the action cams out, that is in preparation to just have them rolling a little bit later on when who knows what's going to happen. We're driving past Tivat Airport and look at this. Filled with private jets. My word, there are like 10 there. That's cool. Those will be Gumballers and the yacht owners and probably some other people as well. There's some nice planes around, but basically very small airport. We've just driven past a place that says it's called Auto Service and it looked open. So I'm going to pull in here. This is a petrol station and the auto service place is next to it. Let me just pull up here and see if we're going to get any luck at this one. See if we can find something. That doesn't look open in the slightest, unfortunately, and we've not had any luck. So, oh, music always does that when you've just stepped into the car. I guess we're going to have to give up on this one for a moment and see what happens a little bit later on. Though the guy said on the other side of the road, but I'm pretty sure that's just a car wash from what we can see. And it doesn't look like anything more than a car wash, so game over. Oh nice, G63. Told you this is a cool part of the world. Lots of nice cars around. Right, let's go this way. Slowly past here. Have a little look. Just car wash, just a car wash. Oh no, it is, look, there's a shop. Let's come through. Maybe. You never know, Ooh, they could do. Let me go and have a look. Well, the good news is that I've got 4 valve caps. They very kindly had some and he just grabbed some and he didn't even want charging. I gave him a note anyway, but This means we're not going to have dust issues. Magic, magic, magic. How convenient is that? I'm glad to have resolved that problem, although I'm sure this is going to be a day that brings with it a few more problems along the journey. I wasn't expecting views like this today. Look at this road. Obviously stuck behind a learner driver at the moment, but look out to the right. Look at that. Wow. The scenery here is stunning. This is going to be a day of small roads along the coast for bits down here. And then as we head across Serbia, look at this, look at the rock formations out there. That is beautiful. We've just driven past the place where I stopped with the LT, FF and GT4 back in 2016. So that means right now, in terms of not shipping or flying a car, this is the furthest a car of mine has ever been driven away from home right now. In like, I say even that because I did technically transport it, but we are driving it home, so I'm going to count it as driven because we are a very, very, very long way away right now in very much a tourist town, as you can see. Going to make our way up this way and head a little bit further south before we start going inland. This is quite random, but right in front of us is another British registered car. That is a 1 Series with a UK plate on it, which is not what I was expecting to find, kind of an hour or so south of Porto Montegro as this journey is rocking and rolling, because we're a long way away from the UK right now, like 2,500 miles or something. It's a long, long, long journey out here. Would you look at this stretch of road going up the hill here? This is absolutely mega. Lovely tarmac, albeit very dusty, so quite slippy, not gonna lie, but look at this. Go past the quarry here on the right. This is awesome. If it's a day of driving roads like this, I am not gonna complain. I've just realised a bit of a disaster, and I'm pulling in because we need to fix this. The nav has taken us a slightly different route, and I didn't consider something. The fastest route that it's picked for us is actually through Albania, and I haven't got insurance for Albania. So we're gonna have to drive back a long way back of the route that we've just been traveling down. I don't know how far, but I mean, I don't mind driving that road again because that was good fun, but it's certainly gonna be quite a decent stretch. Oh, this is not ideal. Okay, let's turn around, start driving in the opposite direction. Enjoy this lovely bit of road, but I don't currently know if it's 15 minutes back or if it's an hour back. That's not ideal, and normally I would have checked that kind of thing. Today I didn't, and I feel a little bit stupid for it. Oh, not good, not good. Here's the long story short. We could definitely have gone that way if it wasn't a weekend, because then I'd be able to call my insurance and try and arrange something, but because it's the weekend, we can't do that. So what we are doing is taking this very, 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 very sketchy kind of 1-lane road that's going to take us back up to a place called Bar in, I want to say, maybe 10 kilometers, and then from there we can basically head inland. So I think we've lost something like 45 minutes perhaps, that kind of region. Anyway, it's not ideal, but we did get to see some cool scenery and drive on a lovely road, so at the end of the day I'm glad to have done that. And you never know what we might experience coming down here as well. Like, what on earth is this that we're about to drive past? Like what? That's how random exploring can become. I can't go off the road because I'm in a car that's way too low. I don't know what we're going to find. I don't know where we are. I do quite like exploring, although in a car like this, you do kind of want to know, and you don't want to be left in an awkward situation. Well, this happens. You're driving along, and the road just suddenly ends. That's actually quite funny. This is okay. I mean, it's not ideal. I think it's just some roadworks. It's quite funny because the road up to this point where we are right now has been really smooth and lovely. We're on the right route, or at least we're on what we think is the right route at the moment. We probably lost about an hour. I think it's around an hour. but in that time got to drive on a pretty epic road and went to about 8 kilometers from the border with Albania. So you win some, you lose some. It's just going to be a really long day, and there's another big bump here, and there's another bump here, and then we're back on nice tarmac. Away we go. We've just been driving on this completely brand new section of highway that they're clearly continuing to build, which was lovely, superb, one of the best roads I've ever driven on. And this is where we have a split. Now, technically, going right here is the faster direction on any nav, and we've been looking at this quite extensively. But going right down that side road there would be a route that then takes you very close to Kosovo. And for today's purposes, we don't really want to go too close to Kosovo in an AMG GT Black Series on a day with a very long drive when we're pretty tired. So we're heading basically a little further north, which according to the nav has a very sketchy section here of road at least, and then adds about 16, 17 minutes I think it said. But I'll take the 17 minutes. I mean, when we've got 10 hours to go, 17 minutes isn't going to change anything. And if it means that we're on a slightly safer route, you got to think about these things. So that's what we're going to do. Go that way. A little bit of off-roading, not too bad. Then we are unleashed. We've got about an hour and a quarter still in Montenegro before we get to the border with Serbia. So before we cross the border, we're going to stop, get a full tank of fuel so that we can kind of just go through in one hit. That's the plan at least. 300 kilometers across, 5 hours towards the Bulgaria border. This is quite funny, but also a secondary part of why we had to find some new valve caps earlier, because this is exactly what you don't want. Basically, the valve would just kind of get blocked by dust, and then obviously it's going to ruin the sensors and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, down here, this is not the normal environment for an AMG GT Black Series, but that's the kind of thing I like. Cars are built to be driven. They should be taken everywhere. You should do everything with them, and life's an adventure, and this is the epitome of that. Where we are and what we're doing. This looks like it's about to get a bit nastier. Are we going to be able to get through here? Those are quite some big dips on the right hand side. Okay, let's go to the left, under the rope. Yeah, we're fine. Totally fine. Why am I doing this again? We're currently in no man's land. Behind us is the exit from Montenegro. So down below will be the entrance to Serbia. Not really sure what all of this is. Is this logistics and transport and stuff? So down here, I presume, will be a Serbian border entrance. Well, that's gone very wrong. I'm not quite sure what they were going for there, but we're stuck. So I'm just going to wait a moment. Yeah, they'll pull forwards. That's everybody heading back into Montenegro. Let's hope that we're not going to have any issues, concerns, stress at the Serbian border down in front of us. Look at this view. We go through, we've got some kind of ravine running up through this valley. Obviously lots of freight. But we're going to hope that this works out as we hope it will. Doesn't make much sense, but you know what I mean. Republic of Serbia, welcome. I think that means we're in Serbia. I've never been in Serbia before in my life, and I'm here in the GT Black Series. I hope this turns out to be a good idea. The border point must still be in front of us, the customs side of it, where we have to show the green card and all of that kind of documents to actually enter the country. So let's see what happens. We've crossed the border. We're in Serbia, and in fact, it was quite funny. The very nice chap at the border crossing was basically like, when I've done everything, stamp passports, etc., can you just floor it? So I floored it away from customs. Obviously you can't film there, but that was quite funny. Anyway, new country, never been here. Excited, a little bit nervous. We've got about 300 kilometers, something like that, maybe it's 350, 400 kilometers across Serbia, which we're going to do just basically in one hit all the way through. Actually, I'm going to pop that back into comfort and basically enjoy the country and some beautiful scenery as we make our way through. Well, Serbia so far is stunning. There have been some floods recently, so you have quite a lot of that kind of thing, where there's mud and trees and stuff that slid down onto the roads. But it's a beautiful place to drive. I mean, roads like this endlessly so far, meandering up through the hills, some unbelievable scenery. And the only person we've spoken to here was the border officer, who was super friendly. So lovely, lovely, lovely experience to date. This is just awesome. What a cool place to be driving. Look at this. It's just endless rolling hills. Check out these views. Castle just on the hill there. I have no idea. Wait, is that a hotel? Maybe it's even a hotel. I have no idea where exactly we are. But Serbia so far is stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening. It's going to be dark before we have left the country, for sure. It's 5 or 6 hours to drive all the way through. But on these kind of roads, you won't see me complaining. Like, I've missed this over the last week because we've been doing a lot of motorway driving. There's an annoying amount of time spent behind trucks, but again, not that much we can do about it. All I'm hoping is that when we do get to the border with Bulgaria later on, in the dark at night, it's not going to be too hectic and too long a wait like we had going into Montenegro. Plus, got to take this into account. There's a time zone change. It adds an hour from here. I don't know if it's at Bulgaria or Romania. It must be at Bulgaria. So that will make it a very, very, very late evening. There are a lot of tunnels on this stretch, which can obviously only mean this thing is popping and banging like crazy. It's also really dark in these tunnels. This thing sounds mega. So like I've been saying, there's a lot of time spent behind trucks, basically waiting for gaps to go past, and that gap's a little bit too small, unfortunately. I probably could have done it, but don't want to take chances. There's a whole lot of overtaking. And one funny thing, check this on the wiper, there's a bit of confetti stuck on it. Probably should get out and move that, sort it out a bit later. I've just got to say a quick apology. I might have messed up the microphone audio on the last couple of clips because it wasn't where it should be, and I'm going to blame that on an exhausting week. It's been completely knackering over the last, well, 10 days, 12 days or so, and my brain is not doing what it should do. But we're in a tunnel again, which is just fun and silly and all the good stuff. Anyway, back on some twisty roads for this final 80 kilometers or so. Up ahead of us is the border to depart from Serbia and then enter Bulgaria. So obviously we'll have to pop the camera away, but this is literally our farewell from what has been a fabulous country to drive through. Honestly, really enjoyed today here in Serbia. It's been great. We're through. This is goodbye to Serbia. And I think on the right there is welcome to Bulgaria. So let's go through it all again. We've had a complete search of all of our luggage and everything. It's taken like half an hour, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. And we're now into Bulgaria. It has been, yeah, a bit of a long process, this. I think we arrived at the other side about 45 minutes ago, but we're now done, paid the e-vignette for, where are we? Bulgaria. First time for me again in this country. Another, that's 2 today, 2 brand new countries for me to visit. But we're gonna take it easy, join the highway, go fill up somewhere, get some dinner because it's gone 10 o'clock, or no, does the clock change here? I don't even know, maybe it's 11 o'clock here at night. I don't know whether that's here or Romania, but we're on the road. We're heading across Bulgaria for a short period and then into Romania. This is not my idea of fun. We're trying to join the motorway in Bulgaria. You'll see there's a dip down there off the edge of the slip road, and I can't drop the car down there. We're clearly in a queue of trucks who are, I think that one's kindly helping us a little bit, but I don't think we can get through. I don't know if I can chance this, because basically we need to get to the left lane, but getting to the left lane is going to be harder than you would think, and we are basically on empty on the fuel, which is also a disaster. So I have no idea how long this might end up taking, because we've got to wait until these guys shuffle forward. I can't see how I can join the carriageway right now. I don't know how I can squeeze out there at all. Feeling very deflated because we've still got another border crossing out of Bulgaria into Romania. It's already midnight. We're 100 kilometers away and we've got no fuel, and we've been to about 5 petrol stations and they were all closed already. And I should stop running this because that's not good. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a very long night. And we've got an early start tomorrow. Oh dear. One of the truck drivers just kindly helped us and asked the trucks in front to move forwards, and then the truck on our left closed the gap immediately. Completely just no benefit for him to stop us going through. And the truck driver then asked them to move forwards again, and this all happened really quite quickly. But I guess that was probably only a 10-minute delay, but still, I just need it to end now. We need to find some fuel. I don't want to be sleeping in the car with no fuel at the entrance to a petrol station. That would be really, really, really bad. Oh, that's an interesting squeeze here. What is going on? What is going on? I mean, it's obviously the border, but we're 4.2 kilometers from the border. This is the entrance to the EU, and this is absurd. This is like, can't get my head around it. We're now crossing the bridge. We're technically in Romania. These guys are all fed up because we're going way over the speed limit, but hey, it is what it is. From here, in theory, I think we have a border crossing right in front of us, and then it will just be like quick and easy, won't it? No, it's going to be a whole load of checking through the car again, like we had at the last stop. But hey, we'll get there. It will take as long as it takes. We'll make our way through and hopefully get to our destination tonight. Hey, look, Romania. There we go. We've entered Romania. We are through with our stamps. It wasn't too painful. They didn't need to check everything, but it is 1 a.m. I think we arrived here at about 12, so it has been an hour to get through that crossing. I would not recommend it at night. That has not been pleasant. And there should be a petrol station up here and somewhere where we can buy vignettes and all that stuff. I hope I'm not supposed to have bought it before, and I'm going to be in trouble for not doing so. It's also 1 a.m. and I should point out at this moment in time that we have not had lunch or dinner, and that is not a good combination. And that's the text message saying, "Welcome to Romania." Oh my goodness gracious me. And these are all of the trucks who have hit their taco time while they've been in the queue, and they have to just park and line up. That's not fun. That is not fun at all. So, we are going to go for fuel, and there are a couple of fuel stations up here. So, which one first? Let's see how this is going to end up. Why is it so late? It's not what you want when you've just finished Gumball 3000 and you're exhausted. You're going to have to excuse me for a very brief outro for this one. It's 3 a.m. That means it was 17 hours ago, because we've added an hour time zone change, since we were on the jetty in Porto Montegro. We left about half an hour later, so it's been 16 and a half hours on the road, and that doesn't include like a lunch stop or anything. It's been full on. We had going in the wrong direction. We've had extraordinarily frustrating border crossings, the very, very long wait for the border crossing into Romania, and then arriving and finding a parking garage to pop the car away in the city we're now in here in Romania. I am tired beyond words. We haven't had a night's sleep longer than about 5 or 6 hours for 10 days. Tonight, with what we've got planned, which is really exciting, by the way, is going to be like a 3-hour sleep. 3 hours if I'm lucky, because we've got to get up in the morning. Yeah, the GT Black Series has performed admirably. It's now been to, well, driven in Hungary, Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania, which is really cool, adding to being in the UAE and the USA, etc., etc. Yeah, time to lock the car, head to bed, and wrap up for today. Homeball has started, and it's an adventure. And this is just the beginning, because here in Romania, there's, well, let's just say a really cool, very famous road to go and drive. Plus, there's some other stuff, which I'm going to keep under wraps for now, but you're going to see very soon. I'm exhausted. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this adventure, from my valve caps being stolen, the dust caps on the car being stolen, having to track down some new ones, through to just everything going wrong that can possibly go wrong on a road trip. Today was not as well planned as our days on the Gumball 3000, but that's it. Homeball begins. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.